Great neighborhoods are a direct connection to great schools. Thank you so much for joining me for this month's Soup Scoop. We plan to share information from our strategic planning process where the entire community had input, as well as our community-based Master Facility Committee. Join me as we share some important information with the Washington Township community. In Washington Township, we're certainly proud of the fleet of schools that we serve. You can see on this slide that we have many schools across the district boundaries, as well as a robust enrollment and staff to support those schools. We also have a long legacy of excellence in education in Washington Township. Our recent increase in enrollment demonstrates that Washington Township offers a quality education to all students through our diverse student body. We are very proud to offer International Baccalaureate to all students in all schools and one of few districts in the entire nation to do so. We have supportive residents, community, alumni, and an advancement center that helps us maintain a long legacy of excellence. We're very proud of our academic achievement at all levels and our award-winning staff. The process to get to the information we are sharing with you today has been very deliberative over the past year. We've been committed to transparency. Everything that has been done over the past year has been made available to the public. We've taken lots of community surveys and held community meetings and forums. We've also offered tours of our facilities. We've conducted a community-wide newsletter, social media keeps the community updated, and we have met with many key constituency groups. Access to board members and administration has been transparent. We also know that our community-based Master Facilities Committee has been working hard over the past year to develop the solutions we will share with you today. One of the questions that our Master Facilities Committee asked has been, how has the district been fiscally responsible? So we put together the budget reductions over the past 10 years here in Washington Township. As you can see, they total over $6 million in budget cuts, which has been a savings to taxpayers. They've been in different areas throughout the years, as you can see on this timeline. You are welcome to access this chart for more detailed analysis on our website. Issues that impact our future, we certainly know that we have to improve our learning environments. Retaining and attracting quality teachers must be in the forefront. We have to support our diverse community, and we must protect the taxpayer investment and property values. So what are the issues that were discovered that we need to address? Well, first of all, most of our buildings are 50 years old and lack the technology systems to support it. All of our buildings haven't had major renovations in 20 to 40 years, and you can imagine the systems that have begun to fail and issues we have with our facilities due to that lack of major renovation. Possible solutions, as you can see, that have been developed by our community-based Master Facility Committee will be shared with you in detail throughout this presentation. First, let's take a glance back 50 years ago. These are all things pictured that were made 50 years ago when our schools were built. It would be hard to find many of these things anywhere in the community except our schools. All of these things pictured have changed over the past 50 years, yet our schools have not in Washington Township. This has led to many facility challenges, as you can see highlighted on the next slide. Systems are at the end of their useful life. We have had to make makeshift classrooms that are not optimal learning environments. We have had to constantly increase our trailer classrooms. We have overcrowded spaces, outdated learning environments, and we lack instructional storage. So what does the vision for the future of Washington Township schools look like? We know we can create innovative learning environments for our students, as we see in districts all around us, but we can't do this without the community support. The Master Facility Committee, which is a community-based committee, came up with some possible solutions and project for a construction referendum. You can see by the amount of things on this slide for elementary, middle, and high school that there is a lot of work that needs to be done. If you'd like to review these lists in detail, as a possible project scope, you are welcome to access this on our website. But you can certainly see that this is no small task. The Master Facilities Committee also asked us, don't we have other funds outside of a referendum to place on our school facilities? And we certainly do through our capital projects funds and our debt service. Our issue, however, has been that we've neutralized the capital projects fund over the past 2 referendums to support our operating referendum. This has been a $76 million in savings to Washington Township taxpayers, but it has also been a loss of $76 million that we've been unable to use on facilities over the past 14 years. You can see that we do project to spend about $20 to $28 million of non-referendum funds to support the areas and examples outlined in the blue box. Possible scope for our operating referendum, we certainly know that we can't have a construction referendum without continued support of our operating referendum. This would maintain our current staff, support staff for an opening of a new elementary school to subside overcrowding, and support new support staff positions that are desperately needed in our currently open schools. This is a project that protects taxpayer investment and home values. We certainly know that the community must support this effort to improve our schools, but we also know that great schools equal a great community. So why do we have to ask the community for support via a referendum? Well, the state changed how we do funding in 2008-9 for public schools. This resulted in schools required to do a referendum to seek additional funds in school facilities and operations. Let's look at the comparative chart with districts all around us. You can see that our current tax rate is the lowest in all of Marion County and surrounding counties. Even with the proposed project for construction and operating referendum, we moved to the 4th lowest tax rate in all of Marion County and surrounding counties. The monthly taxpayer impact we know is of key importance to the community. So we've showed a slide with the proposed project with the median home price in Washington Township of $173,200, the impact of the construction and operating referendum on a monthly basis is $26.31. We've also listed several other home values so that you can see where your home may fall. So what will happen if we don't support this referendum as a community? Well, let's start with the operating referendum implications. First, there would be an increase in class size significantly in our schools. We would be unable to staff the 8th elementary school, which means our currently opened 7 elementary schools would remain overcrowded. We would have a reduction of staff at all schools because we would have to cut the budget by $4 million. We would have a termination of academic and support programs that we currently offer, and we would not be able to recruit the best staff and new families for our community. We would also see in the future a negative impact to home sales in Washington Township with declining services in schools. So what would happen if the community does not support the construction referendum? Overcrowding would continue in our schools. We would have to increase trailers at all school sites. Our facilities would continue to deteriorate. Our systems in our facilities would continue to fail and worsen. We would have continued safety and security concerns, and it would have a negative impact on property values as we would be unable to protect the community investment with deteriorating schools. Lastly, we would be unable to open the 8th elementary school. Your vote is very important in this process. You and other voters in the district will help determine the future of our schools. A research report from 2009 states it has been found that better quality schools increase the real estate value of homes in their areas. Improving schools can be a method for improving neighborhoods and stimulating economic growth. What are our next steps? We plan to spend the next few months gaining community feedback on this proposal. In May, we hope to share with the school board analysis of the community feedback, and in June through July, the board will review a formal recommendation. Here are ways that you can stay informed, and we encourage all stakeholders in the community to stay informed throughout this process. And lastly, we encourage you to give your feedback on these 2 questions for our community. Thank you for your attention to this very important information. We encourage you to share it and share your feedback. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this important information, and as you can see, impacts the entire Washington Township community. We encourage you to stay informed as we proceed throughout the process.